DD214 Network podcast is for mature audiences only. Any videos, music, or entertainment not originating from DD214 Network is used and covered under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, also known as fair use. Opinions expressed are our own and do not represent any DoD or U.S. government entities as a whole. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. Viewer and listener discretion is advised. You are no longer alone now, because we have you.
You all fucking ready for this shit? Hold on. Actually, you know what? I'm not going to play the noise since let's do
it ourselves. Do. Why didn't it work?
Okay. Well, anyways, welcome to the DD214 Network podcast hosted by John Clean Sanchez and myself, Joe Squillini. Y'all better look the freak out today. Our crayons are sharp, the box is full, our bottle of glue is topped off, and our helmets are on tight, baby. We about to rism with the tism. So, first off, I'm testing it. I'm fucking testing
it. Said they already clapped.
And now I just totally messed that whole thing up.
Oh no, it's okay. It's still Monday. it's just a Monday, my friend. It is just a Monday.
Because of the conversation I came into the chat for with what was it, Morning Rips on Friday last week about
going on next
crap. I wanted to test it, so that's why I said freak during the opener instead of the actual word that's there. And then I messed it up by saying that word not even 10 seconds afterwards.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now. Yep.
Because the F-bomb is in the opener.
Yeah,
and I was going to try to hold off on that.
Hello, Nix. You know what's so interesting about this whole thing is that I still can't get my P's and Q's right with that. I still can't get it right. I still can't do it. What's going on, Bank?
Well, my whole thing with it is I feel like, okay, if we marked ourselves child-friendly, then I understand.
Yes.
We market ourselves as an adult content or, a 18 and over show. We state children should not watch our show.
Absolutely not.
I feel like YouTube and all these companies should rework their TOS and certain policies like that. Because, again, we don't, if we specifically identify our show as adult content because we're veterans, we cuss, we, do all these things. I drink beers and hard seltzers live on the internet every Monday. It's like, I'm not setting an example for a young audience when we do this show. You're not setting that. Jay 100% is never fucking setting that. Since I already broke the whole thing, I'm going to start dropping F-bombs.
Yeah.
But it's like that whole thing just needs to be reevaluated as a whole because it makes no fucking sense.
Yep, that's exactly it, Ironboard. And you know what's messed up about it too? Because you're right. If you said it as, I am not making this for kids, then you should not have an issue. You know what I mean? We should be completely fine with what's what I don't know. I know Rumble. I know Rumble has its own rules and stuff like that. But it's I don't know. If EDP 445 can have a channel, why can't we cuss? It's not that we can't cuss. It's that we have to wait.
We have to wait like 3 minutes or something like that into the show before it's ridiculous. We might have to play around with the intro a little bit at some point, John. Extend it out to like that top marker.
I was thinking about that.
We can come in. I can do our opener, drop all the F-bombs I want. Jay can drop all the cuss words he wants, except the ones we keep telling him to stop using, but he constantly ends up using them anyways. And then he apologizes profusely for 3 weeks afterwards, and then he does it again.
What's up, Gio? Yeah,
we missed you, by the way, Jay.
Yeah, I mean, well, and I'm not trying to spoil nothing, but we are still awaiting the return. We have been talking to him. You know, we've been having great conversations with him. He is feeling positive. And that's all we can ask for. He actually said, "Oh fuck, I'm gonna try again." So something. Busy men never stop being busy. So, but we are awaiting his return. But let's go on with our week, man, and then we'll go into some news. It's good. We're going to be ending early today, just so you guys know. We'll be ending around 8:00 to, you know, I got some life stuff which I'll get into in a few minutes. But yeah, how was your week, my man?
I mean, we all got life stuff going on. It's, you know, things are kind of, work's just been crazy busy. Over the weekend we did go. So I guess my daughter's boyfriend's family, they recently moved down to my old stomping grounds, and we went down there and, you know, hung out with them Saturday. We watched the UFC fight at their place.
Oh my God. You watched it too?
I was sitting in the freaking hot tub out in their backyard. They have an outdoor TV at their new place. I was drinking a glass of fucking bourbon, smoking a cigar, sitting in the hot tub at their place. We had the fight on the TV out there.
I love an outdoor TV.
And like, all the opening fights were great. I already knew McGregor wasn't going to win. Like, I should have put fucking money on it because I knew it was going to fucking happen. Because so many people put money on it, I was like, I put $5 in. I'm just getting my $5 back. Like, I'm not going to actually win anything. So I was like, what's the point?
It wasn't 900,000 like that one guy.
He comes out and it's like I blinked my eyes for 2 seconds and the fight was fucking over. And I'm like, the fuck just, like, I had to rewind it. And like, I watched it like multiple times and I'm like, the fuck, man. That's embarrassing.
Me and Gio were talking about it earlier. Like, yo, that is like, you know, you don't fight for a while, you hype up this major comeback, and then you have this like this major fall from grace because of an injury, nonetheless. So that, I mean, despite, you know, however you feel about Conor McGregor, he got embarrassed. And that is, and as a fighter, as a warrior, and even like, because we've seen this with soldiers in the fucking firing range, how defeated they get, you know, when something like this happens. So that was an interesting thing that happened for a main event for the UFC. All that money that was put into all of that. Jesus Christ, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, he still got a good payday. I mean, what was it, like $400K is what he made?
Something like that. We don't answer questions like that, Warlex.
Easy, non-political.
Yeah. Ron Paul.
Feel the burn.
Mitt Romney.
Rudy Giuliani.
Lindsey Graham. No, don't be sorry.
Don't be sorry. I mean, people are going to ask the question. We try to, one of our major rules across all of the Queen Sanchez media productions is no politics.
we'll get into war politics and stuff like that, but
and not really politics when it comes to like the military and the VA system. It's more policies that we're getting into.
Policies, yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, the fight was just, it was like 10 seconds, some stupid shit like that.
I want to make 400,000 in 10 seconds.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, okay, so he went out there, he fucked up his shin, and he walked back off.
Yep. They're getting. Whoa,
that's been a thing. Like,
wait, of what?
Shaving waivers.
Oh, yeah, we spoke about that when that came out. We were talking about that, how people are going to be.
So they've slowly been maneuvering. Yeah, the shaving profiles, shaving waivers.
Dude, why is the Army like? Why is the Army like the New York Yankees with this shit when it comes to shaving?
I mean, we've had the whole conversation about it on the show. Like, guys like me who can grow a full beard and keep it looking professional, what's the fucking problem? It's been proven. So they just announced that today, that they're looking at changing it to get rid of it. But I believe because of religious accommodations, they're not going to be able to.
Yeah.
Even though they're trying to get rid of DEI and the military and all that crap, it's a huge freaking lawsuit.
Yep.
And it's been proven. Too. It's actually been proven, because let's look at how many of our foreign allies allow their members to have beards. How many police departments now have gone away from the you have to be clean shaven. And, you know, the SWAT teams still have to put on gas masks and stuff, and they have facial hair. It does not interfere with the seal of a gas mask. I can attest to this. I can tell you that was just some hocus pocus bullshit that they gave us for one of the reasons why. I feel like if you can grow and keep a clean beard.
Yes, they can. So can Italian ones.
Canadians, Italians, the Brits, pretty much all of our foreign allies have broken away from this 1700s way of thinking. Not even 1700s, because even back then they were allowed fucking beards in the U.S. military when we were first fucking formed.
Yeah.
But, you know, this 1900s way of fucking thinking that, you know, you look unprofessional with a beard. Yet, shit, I go to, my doctor has a fucking beard. He doesn't look fucking unprofessional.
Plus, those fucking special forces guys, they're really helping us with that standard, are they not?
Well, yeah, I mean, our spec ops grew, the fucking dev grew and all the spec ops forces across all the branches. I mean, they have fucking relaxed grooming standards to the 10th degree, and fucking they're fine. So,
yeah.
But anyways, how about shit. See, the shaving topic always gets me. I'm not sure if you noticed the fucking giant vein popping out in my forehead when we were talking about it.
It really gets you going, right? But
like,
yeah,
that's my version of a J rant. Like, we get on to the fucking shaving in the military thing, I've got a J rant for you. But how was your week?
Really good. We started film the special forces. That's right. That's absolutely right. Me and Gio have been playing Breakpoint, so we're part of the 420th special forces.
Doing reporting.
Yep, there you go. That's us. But yeah, it was a very good week, very tame one. Obviously, doing the work and stuff. But this weekend was my son's birthday. We went to Staten Island and New York City to celebrate. We just went to the park. That was really it. It was a beautiful day. It rained the first half, but then it just cleared up after. Really beautiful. And then we started filming Couriers yesterday, which turned out to be a success. It wasn't a long shoot. It wasn't a very big one. Yes, we are. Yes, we are. U.S. Army 92 Golf and Squillini.
U.S. Army 31 Bravo.
There you go. And but yeah, we filmed the movie. We filmed a scene from the movie. It was a flashback scene. We got blood. We got blood use in there. We got a very nice scene. So I was very proud. I'm very happy with what came out. And hopefully the weather will be gentle with us the next couple weeks, and we'll see what happens. And we'll see what happens. That we could get this film done and over with sooner than later.
I do want to say I saw the picture that you posted of you and Gio, I guess, at the end of the shoot of the scene and everything.
Yeah.
And all I thought was, Jay and Silent Bob Go to War. Is that the movie we're fucking making here?
Stop giving me and Gio ideas. Thoughts on the VA system? Well, don't you have a VA story today, Squillini?
I mean, not necessarily story. I've got, later in the show, I've got some military news about some policies across the branches in the VA system, so...
Yeah, all right, cool. But it's funny. So when I was cleaning the blood off me, I made a Red Wings joke. But yeah, it was really good. Very excited for the rest of the week. Hoping that the weather's good. We have a heat wave coming in tomorrow, so I'm hoping that this doesn't last too long and we could kind of go on. I do have bad news, but I'll take the final thought today to speak about that. We did lose one that I found out this morning that I was in 110th Field Artillery with. We will get to that in memoriam later at the end of the final cut. But let's get into some interesting situations, right? Interesting situation. So first off, everybody who wants to know if they would have been drafted to Vietnam. Do you want to know? So I found this thing called the Vietnam War Draft Calculator. So the only thing we have to... So my birthday is May 20th. So let's see. Your lottery number for the year you were drafted was 183. It was assigned on Monday. You were drafted on the first draft lottery in 1970. Oh, shit.
Okay, so mine was May 25th. So I'm probably not far behind you.
You were drafted in the second draft lottery in 71. Now I'm curious. So my wife was July 25th. She was drafted too.
You didn't change it changed the date back to the first.
Oh, shit. She was drafted number 67. I'm trying. That's fucking. What about 420? Drafted. I'm starting to think this might be a hoax. No, but yeah, look at that. The Vietnam War draft. You can't run from that weapon, right? So it's just like it happened. You have to,
unless you have shin splints.
Yeah. But yeah, let's get into your thing real quick about the VA schooling. But I do want to answer this. I've been trying to get 100%, but they keep fucking me. So the VA system itself is a complicated system that all veterans have gone through. Getting 100% is no easy task. Do you deserve it? I absolutely think you do. You did your time in service. Yep. You did what you're supposed to. But whatever, the VA is just the VA. I really, they are very frustrating, but from personal experiences, the only issues I've had with them is that they take too long to do shit.
That's really kind of the problem is they just take forever. They twiddle their fucking thumbs.
Yeah.
So, do we want to start with the VA news then? If you're done with your week,
yeah, go with it.
So I mean, not really necessarily news, but it's just kind of some policy updates and changes at the VA. So with community care access, so that's the Elizabeth Dole 21st Century Veterans Healthcare and Benefits Improvement Act. The VA has eliminated the utilization review panel for community care referrals, where if a frontline VA clinician refers a veteran for private sector care, or now that we're civilian sector care, that referral now stands without needing secondary administrative approval. So, funny enough, I actually do have a story around that, because when I was needing, I think it was around the fourth time I tore my rotator cuff, my VA doctor wanted me to go see a civilian orthopedic surgeon. Because at that point he was like, listen, you've seen all the surgeons at this hospital. We're kind of, stumped on why it keeps re-tearing, even though we keep repairing it, this, that, and the other. I suffered with a torn rotator cuff for 2.5 years before the approval to go see a private sector physician.
Yeah.
Now this just removes that. And it's like as if I went to civilian Joe Blow family medicine and they referred me to a specialist. I just go to that fucking specialist. So that's nice. Transgender care guidance. The VA rescinded Directive 1341, which previously outlined care for transgender veterans, including the use of preferred pronouns and facility access based on self-identified gender. While the VA stated this does not affect existing clinical guidance, the move has raised concerns among advocates about the future of gender-affirming care at the agency.
Okay.
There's another policy change. So this is around male breast cancer coverage. Because, guys, we can get titty cancer too. We have the muscular tissue and everything. We can still get it. It's not as common. Hence why men don't have an entire month dedicated to it. Well, I mean, it's Breast Cancer Awareness Month in general, so it's for everybody. But the VA has ended the presumptive service connection for male breast cancer, a benefit previously covered under the PACT Act. The decision was tied to an executive order regarding biological truth in the federal government, meaning male veterans will now have to prove their cancer is service-connected on an individual basis.
Were they faking it or something?
I'm going to say this lumps into the fucking policy change right before that I read about the transgender care.
Yeah.
And it's fucking bullshit. Whatever. Infrastructure investments. So the VA is undertaking its largest non-recurring maintenance investment in history, with $4.8 billion allocated for fiscal year 2026 to upgrade outdated infrastructure and prepare facilities for new electronic health record systems. So that's actually a huge thing, because the VA still kind of is pen and paper fucking medical records, and it's stupid.
Yeah.
So it's one of those situations where, like, okay, yeah, I can see needing to invest money because you've been to their facilities. I've been to their facilities. Jay's been to their facilities. They're fucking outdated. They're ran down. They're old. They were built in fucking World War II. Half the damn time. So,
over here looks like Arkham fucking Asylum.
That is a long past due budget investment that's been needed for the VA system for a long time. So, I'm not mad at that number, because one thing we keep saying is they need to invest more into the VA system in updating the infrastructure, updating policies, updating the way things are ran. And they're doing that. Some of the updated policies are bad. Some of the updated policies are good. But, I mean, you can't please everybody. So, I mean, those are the top things from the VA. Now, for the military as a whole, we have a couple of policies that were, I've got 4 top topics here. So social and medical policies. The military has seen a rollback of certain diversity and inclusion initiatives. The 2025 NDAA included provisions restricting gender affirming care for minors under TRICARE, and a subsequent executive order directed the Department of Defense to end the use of identification-based pronouns and strictly separate sleeping, changing, and bathing facilities by biological sex. Military justice reform. A historic shift in the military justice system has transferred the authority to prosecute serious offenses such as sexual assault, domestic violence, and murder from military commanders to specialized independent military prosecutors. This change is intended to ensure prosecutorial decisions are fully independent from the chain of command. That's actually, I'm not going to argue with that. That's a good change, because I felt like in those situations, especially when we're talking like sexual assault allegations, domestic violence, everything they specifically called out there, that shouldn't be on Joe Blow, freaking captain, major, whatever.
Like the command, it has to be on the individual.
That should be, you know, through the military court system, in front of a fucking judge that's not in their chain of command. They're represented by a freaking JAG lawyer. They're, you know.
You got CID on you.
So it's like, you know, that's great change there. Strategic Defense and Golden Dome, the 2026 National Defense Strategy, outlines a shift toward defending the U.S. homeland and the Western Hemisphere. This includes a major expansion of national missile defense, dubbed the Golden Dome, aimed at defending large missile barrages and advanced aerial attacks. Because apparently Russia's coming for us next. Not if Iran gets us first.
And I ran so far. I'm sorry, we're talking about the country. Whoops.
Well, I mean, I think I'd be more worried about China, to be honest with y'all. But then again, you know, I'm not sure if anybody here's watched the original Red Dawn or the remake of Red Dawn.
Of course, they're both great.
But yeah, the worst thing our enemies could do is fucking land in our backyards.
Yep. I gotta look at the water. Keep talking.
Yep. So, and then there was some leave program updates specifically around the Air Force, where it updated its military leave program to include inactive duty parental leave for the Air Reserve component and Space Force, allowing for 12 leave periods after a qualifying birth or adoption. So now, I guess with the Reserve and the Space Force, they didn't have parental leave policies, and now they did. Also, something I'm getting used to being in the civilian sector is that type of stuff. I mean, that's
the parental leave thing. I know has been a huge talking point in the military the last 2-3 years.
It has
about changing that,
because I mean, yeah, and this is specifically the Air Force updated theirs, because for the Air Force Reserve and the Space Force, the policy didn't cover them, where now it does.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the military news I've got. I do have a few tech news things to kind of slide in here.
Let me hear what you got on tech, because I only have like little things here that we're gonna flow through when you're done.
Yeah. So today, Apple. So obviously, as everybody knows, I'm a strong Apple user. I've been running the OS 27 betas on all my devices. Apple released today the public betas. It's, I mean, 26 and 27, the betas have been a lot smoother than years past and more stable. Because I've been running the developer betas since WWDC back at the beginning of June. Now the public beta is out, so anybody can, if they're brave enough, go to beta.apple.com, sign up with your Apple ID, and then go into the settings on your devices, flip on the beta profile, and then just download unreleased software.
On your iPhone? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, my wife does the beta. She's Yeah.
Huh?
No, my wife was saying, she was like, I have it. She was like, it sucks, but I have it.
And then on an AI front, Apple filed a lawsuit against OpenAI and several previous employees today.
I saw that.
They're claiming theft of trade secrets.
Oh, fuck.
And then earlier last week, Samsung sent out their invitation packet for their Galaxy Unpacked mid 2026 event, which is July 22nd. It's the typical, bi-yearly, because the way Samsung does it is they do one at the beginning of the year to announce their standard phones. Then they do a mid-year where they announce the new Fold, Flip, folding, and flip phones. So, I mean, that's pretty much all on the tech side that I've got right now. Those are just some pretty interesting things. And I was thinking if D was in here, he'd hear the stuff about the beta and probably say, why the fuck?
I am always curious to hear about some of the new stuff that Apple is doing. I mean, we're both Apple guys, you know?
Like we were talking earlier, how I've been using like AI for cancel, wrong share button, for like pulling some notes together for the show and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're using it as a tool.
And
now, I might look. I'll admit, I myself, I get some. If there's something that I'm missing, yeah.
This is the new Siri AI that's available in Mac OS or in OS 27 across all their devices. So it's got its own dedicated app now. Granted, you have to have an iPhone 17 Pro or newer from the phone perspective, iPad Air with the M4 chip, so the new iPad Airs, the iPad Pros with the M4 or newer, and MacBooks with the M4 chip or newer for this aspect of it. And that's just because it's all on device. So it'll search the web, but it stores all your searches locally on your device versus
just like
in some cloud service somewhere. Yeah.
Interessante, man.
So, I mean, and it's come in handy for some stuff like just random looking up something, or
sometimes when you're taking up notes, sometimes you miss things, right? And sometimes if it's accurate, just ask it for a source. It'll give you the source. And if it doesn't have a source, then it's bullshit, Yeah.
And that's the thing that I like, even with using freaking things like even Google Gemini, Claude, fucking OpenAI with GBT, it always gives you the sources at the bottom of the results. It just compiles it into a easy to read off of list for you, really.
Like that.
So, and again, it's a tool. People need to stop using it to replace people. We saw how that worked for that freaking auto manufacturer. They fired a bunch of fucking engineers and then had to rehire them because AI fucked up.
Yep. All right. Well, next, Veterans Day is coming up in a few months, right? And this article came out from military.com that says 8 ways to say thank you, veterans, on Veterans Day. Because we always get the thank you for your service, thing. And we appreciate it so much, right? But there are little things that you can do instead of that, or on top of that, right? Because we do appreciate it. And one of the things that we learned during the course of this show is that one of the things that we say when someone says thank you for your service, we tell them, you were worth it, because you were absolutely worth it. But this article just came out and it's super interesting from military.com. And I like these ideas, right? So the first one here is, say thank you, veterans, by showing up, right? Attend the Veterans Day event in your area. Not just a picnic with friends, but an honest-to-goodness parade or service for your veterans. Roy Rogers said, we can't all be heroes. Someone has to sit on the curb and clap as they go by. Veterans Day is a great opportunity to do that. What? Now EV Mux is doing this here. What in God's green earth is going on?
What the hell?
Yeah. Next, donate to veteran-focused charities. Now, this is something that I am highly for. We just had our friend Robert Morrison on, who works with different organizations in the Rhode Island area, and this is something that I 100% support. I myself have donated to some charities myself. They always do something for the veteran, and sometimes that donation can help them find a home, help them get some food, help them get some toiletries, or even any other resources that could help that organization get other resources for those veterans. How do you feel about that one, Squillini?
I mean, it's one of those things like, yes, donate to veteran charities, but do your research before you donate.
Absolutely.
Because there's a lot of veteran charities out there that aren't out there for the right cause.
Agreed. Absolutely. And then there is actually a website. You can go on charitynavigator.org and it will display some legit charities for you to check out. charitynavigator.org. Next is fly a flag correctly. I have OCD about this stuff, you know. There's a lot of things about the flag. I love Old Glory. I love seeing it fly when it's correctly flown up. But here are some things here, right? Never drag a U.S. flag on the ground or let it touch the ground. Don't drape it over the hood, top, sides, or back of the vehicle. Don't display the U.S. flag above any other flag and keep it at the center when it's surrounded by other flags. This is important. And for those who don't know, these are very important things to treat the flag. Don't display a tattered, a torn flag. Flags that are tattered and torn should be disposed of in a respectful way, preferably by burning. And never use the flag as apparel, bedding, or drapery. There's actually a law for this, for those who don't know.
Yeah, and with the destroying it preferably by burning, there is a proper way to do it. If you don't know how to do it, do your research before doing it so that way you're doing it correctly.
Yep. Next is ask veterans about their service. This one I think could be a hit or miss, right? But I do think that this is a good idea because if anything, when you speak to a serviceman, they love to talk about what they've done or what the military means to them.
Yeah, and the thing is, be respectful with the questions. Don't the have you ever killed someone question? Don't ask that fucking stupid question.
Yeah. And that's a common honestly, one. That's a stupidly common one. Yeah.
It is. But the thing is, you know, there are those of us that served in combat. There's those of us that didn't. Those of us that served in combat were more than happy to share stories.
Absolutely.
But we don't want to, you know, talk body count.
It's not a good conversation, you know, to hear of someone taking their own life for the army, you know.
Yep.
Regardless of the situation. But here, actually, and it's good because here are some questions here, like what did you do in the military? How long did you serve? What was your favorite moment? Did anyone else in your family serve? Why did you go into the service and stuff like that? Next one. Now, this is something that I thought like all veterans got, but I realized that this is a big thing that a lot of service members get during deployment. You get a thank you letter from, you know, thank you veterans.
And a lot of the times it's like schools.
Yeah.
You know, they'll do a project usually around Veterans Day or, you know, things like that where they're sending care packages with letters from the students to those serving.
I love it. And I think that, on the last one, don't confuse Veterans Day with Memorial Day. We have talked about this every Memorial Day every year for the last couple years. They are two different days. Memorial Day is for those we remember when we lose them. Veterans Day is for the veterans.
For those that are still here.
Yeah.
And that's the big thing. Like, okay, everybody gets an extra day off work for both of these, technically.
Yeah.
With Memorial Day, everybody barbecues, everybody cooks out. But that's not the time to thank me for my service.
Yeah. Agreed.
That's the time to leave me the fuck alone so I can sit there and drink my beer and remember the guys I lost and cook some good ass fucking food.
Hell yeah. And these last two. Visit the VA hospital, which I've heard of this before, but but sometimes, I mean, depending on the situation, it may not be a good idea to visit the actual hospital. But I know that there are areas and events that they do at the VA hospitals where you could visit the veterans. But I sometimes I feel like we're bothering the veterans when they're in that, I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to like, go visit the vets that are like in long-term care because, a lot of them, they're older, they're, in that almost going to hospice care stage of life. Go visit them, show them people still are thinking about them and what they did. But just going to the VA hospital and walking around and talking to random people sitting there waiting for fucking appointments, we're already pissed off because we're sitting there too damn long.
Yeah.
If you walk up to me and try to start talking to me randomly.
Yeah. I agree. No one wants to be in the VA. But this last one here, I think, is very beautiful, and it's get outdoors with a veteran. Veterans are always outside, and like you see in this picture, either fishing, hunting, being outside helps improve physical and mental health and boost emotional well-being, and is a great way to celebrate the day with a veteran. Especially for families that have veterans in their family, older veterans, go outside with them. This is a great way to honor them on this day. And, I love Veterans Day. I absolutely love it. I always think about my service day in and day out. I'm just happy. I'm happy to be a part of the crew. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing. Like our service, it's part of who we are, what we stand for. We carry ourselves a certain way. It's one of those things where even my wife will be out eating somewhere. Actually, funny enough, about the thank a veteran part, it was a few weeks ago. We were sitting down eating dinner. Where did we go to? I don't. We went to Chili's for dinner. We never go to Chili's.
Nice.
And it was the kid. She had her friend over, and then we decided we were going to go to Chili's for dinner that night. And we're sitting there, and I'm drinking my beer like I always fucking do, and food hasn't come yet. We're just all chit chatting and talking and stuff. And this little girl comes walking up, no older than maybe 5. And just says thank you for your service. And like, it just was one of those things. Like, it's nice to see that there's parents out there still teaching their kids that. Where, last year on July 4th, we went to, or 2 years ago on July 4th, we went to a baseball game, kind of like we did this year.
Yeah.
But at that game, I'm standing in line to get another beer, and some teenager walks behind me. Veterans should just fucking kill themselves. And it's like, that kid's parents don't fucking teach him a damn thing.
Yeah, and I've heard some horrid shit too about how they feel about what we do and why we do it. But it's just like, we have such a beautiful way of life now. You know what I mean? Serving your country is, and I'm not going to sit here and tell you have to do it, right? Because not everyone has to do it, right?
Yeah.
And that's the great thing about this country. That is the great thing about this country.
And that's the bad thing about fucking EV Mucks right now.
Yeah. I don't know why it's doing this, but, and it's, I don't know. I just, to hear some, like, I understand that people protest war and have their feelings about military.
I mean, did I agree with why we were over there towards the end? No.
Exactly.
But I had a job to do. I did my job. I did it honorably. I came the fuck home. I hung up my fucking boots and I moved the fuck on. It is what it is. Do we agree with the bullshit going on with Iran? Fuck no.
We really fucking don't.
But, you know, it's one of those situations where there's not really anything we can do about it.
I agree.
And one other, just outside of that, one other thing I do want to add is if you do start a conversation with a veteran, one way to get your shit rocked really quick is, I would have joined, but I have this X medical condition.
Yeah, I don't want to hear about that. I just want to know that you tried.
Like, I don't even care if you tried. Like, I don't care if you did or didn't, because every one of us has a different path in life. We all have different roads we're going down, and we went down. It doesn't matter to me whether you were going to join the Marine Corps, but because you have psoriasis, you weren't able to get in.
Yeah.
That doesn't fucking matter.
I just want to know, do you support the cause?
Do you support the troops? Not necessarily the cause, just the troops themselves. Because, again, like we were just saying,
the cause could be argumentative, right? But the troops themselves.
Exactly.
The troops themselves, yeah.
Just, you know, be smart and tactful when you're approaching someone, especially a veteran, to have those conversations. That's why there's questions you don't ask. That's why there's things you do ask. Just be respectful.
I agree. So a couple more things before, because we're getting towards the end. Did you know that spouses get ID cards now with deers?
Fuck no.
Yeah, so they get IDs now for deers so that they can use the gym, use the commissary, healthcare benefits, and get on base by themselves and stuff like that. So this was something that the military was talking about doing, because one of the biggest things was military spouses not being able to get on base without their spouses. You know, and I don't think my wife ever had an issue with this, to be honest with you, right? But I could see, I've heard the story. So yeah, this is a thing this is a thing now. Interesting enough, right? Very interesting stuff. Now let's get into, all right, we'll say that for next week's Trump Patriot Games. Did you hear about this?
You mean Hunger Games for teenagers?
Yeah, they got a facility in the middle of nowhere. Look at this place. They got this facility, God knows fucking where. It looks like a fortified military high school or something like that. And they're doing these Patriot games here.
The only question I have, do they offer free spray tan so you can look just like Trump? What?
That is fucking funny, and I'm here for it. But yeah, I mean, people are calling it the Hunger Games because teenagers from across the country will apply for a chance to represent their home states in the nationally televised competition, leading some critics online to liken the concept to Suzanne Collins' best-selling Hunger Games novels. The similarities, however, largely end there. Thank fucking God. And then our very last thing that we have now this leads directly. Now, obviously you follow a lot of Facebook pages of the military, right? Squillini?
Hold on. Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I'm just reading about this fucking Patriot Games bullshit.
Oh yeah. So a lot of those Facebook pages and especially for anyone who's listening in chat, if you follow any military pages, it is a big chance that military page is about to get shut down because of Army Directive 2026-17. Optimizing digital media is probably one of the biggest changes to the Army's online presence over a decade. And if you've noticed, Army Facebook pages, Instagram accounts, or Twitter accounts are suddenly announcing they're shutting down. Now, it's changing because the Army is moving away from thousands of individual social media accounts. And instead of every battalion, company, schoolhouse, or office having its own Facebook, only specific organizations are now authorized to maintain official media accounts. Now, the authorized organizations include Department of Army Headquarters, Army Commands, Army Service Component Commands, Corps and Divisions, Army Installations, Army Reserve, one Army National Guard account per state or territory, or other specifically approved organizations listed in the directive. So that means many brigade, battalion, company, and smaller organization pages are being archived and shut down. Now, they're doing this because the Army says its goal is to create a one consistent Army message, fewer abandoned or outdated pages, stronger operational security, better public trust, and more professional communications. And another major factor is manpower. The Army now requires approved official accounts to be managed by trained public affairs officials, specifically a 46 series soldiers or a 1035 series Army civilian, rather than whoever in the unit happened to run social media. And this does not directly affect personal social media accounts. Like you see some of these Army content creators, this does not affect them. But Army official content will become much more centralized. You're going to see more things from division pages, installation pages, Army headquarters, recruiting, and public affairs. Expect fewer but larger accounts. So this is a big thing that the military is doing right now, and they are talking about this day in and day out. And yeah, this is a huge deal, very huge deal. How do you feel about this? Do you think that this is a good move?
I mean, I don't see it affecting the individuals, and as long as it doesn't affect down the chain, it's fine. Because one thing that kind of, why does each battalion on an installation need their own freaking Facebook? Because that's, one or two people dedicated, or, part of their daily routine is posting content, taking time away from their actual training. I mean, obviously my time in social media wasn't as big as it is now. So not an issue I had to deal with then. But I followed on Facebook, I found my old training company. They had a fucking Facebook page. And it's that's taking valuable resources, training the next generation to manage this. That makes no sense. I get Fort Leonard Wood as a whole having their own, installation page, and maybe having a subset page for the training side of the installation, so families can see pictures that get posted every once in a while and stuff like that, because I see that on those pages. But as far as a company, a battalion having a page, that's fucking nonsense. It's too much. And
I agree.
There's not a need. Another thing, recruiting offices. A lot of recruiting officers, they'll have a Facebook page for their office. It's you only need the main recruiting Facebook.
Not every individual. I do agree with that. I do agree with that.
Because there's hundreds of recruiting stations across the country, if not thousands. And because almost every major city has recruiting stations. Some of those in-between cities also have them. And you're looking at, valuable resources there too. Instead of the recruiters having to lie to get people to sign a contract, if they're not focused on having to make social media posts, they can actually tell the fucking truth. They probably fucking won't, but
yep, fucking hua. Fucking hua. All right, guys. So we're here at the end of the show. We have to end it a little early. I gotta have some obligations that me and my wife have to take care of. But we really do appreciate you guys coming in, week out. We all know you miss Jay, and we miss Jay too. And he will be back. And my cat is murdering something behind me. Okay.
Just let the cat do murder things. It's fine.
Yeah, it's okay. But I want to, here in the final thought, I want to bring something up. This morning, I found out that an NCO that was in my unit when I was in Fort Benning, over at 110th Field Artillery. I don't even know how to start this off or even what to say. But we lost a good one, folks. We lost a good one, and I found out this morning. I'm about to pull up a picture of him right here. This is Sergeant John Vocal. This fucking hero right here. Okay? I met him going into Fort Benning, and he was the first person in the Army that I saw that was, he was a character, right? He was excitable. He was always someone that when he walked into the room, you would hear what he has to say. He was a good fucking NCO. He was a goddamn good fucking soldier too. Sergeant John Vocal looked out for me a lot, right? Now, being a cook, we don't get to interact with a lot of people. Our interactions come a lot from the people that we are serving the food to. We are constantly in that DFAC for 16, 17 hours a day. And the only time we get to see some of our leaders are in that serving line. And every time I saw Sergeant John Vocal, he was always grateful. He never complained. He was always fucking happy. When I look at a U.S. Army soldier and I look at someone who was like the epitome of what a soldier should be, I look at Sergeant John Vocal. And I remember Sergeant John Vocal, and I remember him like it was yesterday. He did so many of my weigh-in tapes, and he always gave me advice. He always looked out for me. If I had a bad day, because I was constantly going through therapy when I was in the Army. Constantly going through therapy. And some of those sessions were really, really, really hard to get through. But sometimes when I would get out, I would have to go over to, HQ battalion real quick to let them know I'm going back to the DFAC. My session's done, because this is just, and for those who say it was just a safety precaution to make sure that everyone was good. I was on a red flag at the time. So it was my duty to make sure to let my battalion know and my family know that I was making movement to safe areas. And Sergeant John Vocal always had a positive attitude and always told me to keep my head up. All those PT tests I failed, he told me to keep a positive attitude and keep my head up. Those bad days, keep a positive attitude and keep your fucking head up. So today we honor Sergeant John Vocal. This is one of the most heartbreaking things I've ever had to go through. And this is the first time in my life that outside of the Army, I have lost someone that I looked up to. And, a hero doesn't have to wear a cape. Sometimes they wear a UCP or OCP. Sometimes they wear an ACH on their head. Sometimes they have a machine gun in their hand. Sometimes they have paperwork that tells you you're going to go to airborne. Sergeant John Vocal, I hope you're resting in peace. I truly do. And in saying that, guys, if you're having a hard day, if you don't know who to talk to, if you're down and out on your luck, and if you're feeling that you can't get up, make sure you hit or call the National Suicide Hotline. You could hit 988 or dial 1-800-273-8255. There is someone there today that is waiting for your call to listen to your story, to listen about your day, and to help you get through it. And that is what they're there for. Some of them are there for pay. Some of them are there being paid for work. Some of them are there on the volunteer service. call them. If you don't have the money to buy a subscription through BetterHelp or anything like that, if you can't see your therapist, hit that number, 988-1-800-273-8255, and be there for yourself and your family for another tomorrow. We appreciate you guys coming to DD214 Network Podcast. It is always a fun time and a good time. Squillini, I really appreciate you sticking it out with us through all the bullshit, through all the crazy stuff that we've gone through. You are the piece of the puzzle that we were missing, and I couldn't be more grateful for you, man. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being present, and God bless the U.S. fucking Army, man.
When y'all finally decide to get rid of me, John, I'm going to have the longest standing record for the third guy. It's going to be hard for another motherfucker to beat.
Like, this is the standard that you have to go through. But guys, thank you so much. We love you guys. Squillini, you got anything before we click out?
No, just again, like John said, make sure to use your resources if you need help. If you don't need help, like I always say, reach out to somebody just to say, hey, how you doing? What's going on? Everything good? Make sure we're doing that, everybody. And we'll see everybody in 168. We might have Jay back. We might not. Things change week to week, day to day, month to month.
It's a hat trick, guys.
Yep.
It's a hat trick. But, yep, we will see you guys next Monday. See you guys later. Why isn't it working? Oh, there we go.